helping you to weather good and bad economies without putting retirement on hold. This is the Tumolo Financial Podcast with Ken and Nick Tumolo. Ken and his son Nick know that creating a comprehensive financial plan can align your hard-earned life savings with your retirement goals. Consider them your retirement architects. Now, the Tumolo Financial Podcast with Ken and Nick Tumolo.
Guys, we have a bit of a summer road trip traveling theme in our conversation today. We're going to talk about things that can come along and ruin a vacation, also the idea of lost luggage, and how it does, in fact, all tie back to our retirement. It is amazing how we can take almost any life event and spin it into our financial circumstance. I'm sure you find yourself doing it just sitting at the dinner tables, do you not?
It always makes you think.
There's lots of similarities, lots of parallels in life, but the work you do, obviously, so important. And as you're listening today, again, want to remind you the chance to have your own Tumolo Financial Retirement Checkup. We've opened up 5 spots on the calendar today, so visit us at tfcheckup.com or call us at 860-854-3434. Guys, let's start with this story that made me chuckle when I was reading it. Because first of all, I have said for years, 50 is the new 30. When you're in your 60s, 65 is not old anymore. These people are living life. They are running marathons, and they are obviously also getting their dream cars in retirement, because apparently there is a whole situation happening with senior speeders in the country of the United States. You actually have some race car drivers in your family, so you know about this phenomenon yourself. Explain the race car driving circumstance in the Tumolo family.
My youngest son.
Okay.
So my youngest races a car over Waterford Speed Bowl, which is pretty close to us. So I was the one that with him, and Nick helped a little bit, but we built a car a couple of years ago.
That's
He's
cool.
being too nice to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nick put air in the tire.
I love it.
But the youngest one's the mechanic. So it was weird, too, because it was during COVID. We went to a race. And he's like, I think I want to do this. And then one of his friends sold him a car for basically nothing. And it was in pretty bad shape. So first year he raced, didn't do all that well. Second year, we're just going to build a car. And but he had to learn a lot. Had to learn how to weld and do all kinds of stuff. So we both learned.
Wow.
We did things we never did with a car.
Wow.
And got it to be a pretty competitive car. So and then this year he's got another new one. So yeah. You can't drive that fast on the road, though.
Right. Well, unless you are in the states of Wyoming, South Carolina, Arizona, and New Mexico, guys. Oh, excuse me. Also, and Alaska. This is apparently where these senior speed junkies are racking up the most violations, speed tickets, accidents, which listen, I was saying before, I was chuckling. I don't want anybody getting in an accident. I do think that there's something to be said for the youthfulness that so many folks feel, even in retirement. They are out there, they're getting the car, that dream car they always wanted. Of course, again, be safe. Speeding is not a good idea, particularly if you're getting a little bit later on in your years. Your eyesight, your reaction time might be not as good as it once was. And when it comes to recklessness in the car, it's not the only place it's happening, guys, because you see it all the time. Folks coming to you, whether or not they realize it, carrying too much speed and recklessness in the stock market and within their retirement savings. So how do you help identify that for folks, and how do you help guide them in the process of taking their foot off the gas?
Yeah, and so just to poke fun at the speeding thing, it's all over the place.
Yeah.
So it's funny, my wife will get in the car with me and she'll tell me that I drive slow now.
Okay.
And then she jumped in the car with my youngest that I just talked about. He doesn't speed on the highway, he's not that bad, but then she gets home and she complains that he drives too fast. So but firsthand seeing I live in a town that a lot of the people in town are a little bit older than me. And but driving down Main Street, like, you see the two extremes. You'll see one person driving like 15 down Main Street, which is a 25 mile per hour zone anyway.
Right.
And then next thing I see someone go flying by me, and they're doing like 50 down Main Street. I'm like, where's the cops? But
Yeah, my parents are like the youngest by 30 years in their city. But I see too, even it's funny when I go on the highway in Connecticut, the handicap stickers usually see someone going 45 in a 60 mile per hour highway, or they're going 90 and they're flying by me, and there's no in between. And then you go to where my dad lives, and I'm not going to make fun of the town. I won't say it right now, but I think they are the slowest drivers in the state of Connecticut by far.
Okay.
It's about being careful. It's
That's
just
right.
like retirement.
That's right.
So no, Heather, it's really the thing is we all get older, and I do see it with friends and people I know as they get older, they drive a little bit slower. Some keep the gas on, yes, but it's really starting to prepare for retirement, and that's a big shift for people. You get to about 55, 56, 57 years old, and you should be making those changes. That's where a lot of times we find people come in and visit with us. And that's where they're looking for that Tumolo Financial Retirement Checkup. So it's when we're doing that, it's about allocation, how they're set up, are there any strategies? So you're actually taking your foot off the gas at that point and changing things, and you should. And I'll tell you this, if you have your foot on the gas, and we have in 2008, and you're close to retirement, you're probably not going to be able to retire. And it's just because you're taking too much risk. So always starts with that, and one thing I'll just point out, we do a complimentary for our listeners. 2 ways to get a hold of us. One, go to our website, tfcheckup.com. You can book an appointment, or you can call us at 860-854-3434. But really what I'd probably talk, Nick, more about that transition at 59 and a half and why people have been using us.
Yeah, and the biggest thing, too, is, and I know my dad just said it, you don't know when the next thing's going to happen. And unfortunately, it will. There will be economic downturns. There will be upswings as well. And you got to be prepared for those.
Yeah.
And things shift once you get closer to retirement, because more than ever, people don't have pensions anymore. Very, very few people do,
Right.
less and less. You're relying on social and your retirement accounts. So you got to shift the mindset and just growth to growth and income. So, I had a perfect story where someone came in and they told me they're conservative, and I do see this a lot. They're in their 401ks, IRAs, and they just sit in these target funds. And I know that's what majority of people do when they don't know too much about investments. And I'm not saying target funds aren't bad or aren't good. It depends the situation, and it could work in different situations. But what you're trying to do is just make sure that you're okay in retirement and you're able to spend, whether the market's up or down, because you've saved for 30, 40 years. You deserve to hit your goals in retirement. You want to still travel during those bad times. So back in 2022, I had a client that started working with me actually the year before, and they had 90% in the market, 10% safe. And they told me they're more moderate conservative, which 90-10 is a huge difference. And you think about that, if you go through 2007, 2008 with a 90-10 mix, you're close to 50% down at that point. So if you're down 50%, are you going to still travel? Are you going to still go do what you want, go out to eat? Or are you even going to have to go back to work or stay working for a few extra years? So you don't want to have to make those hard decisions. So for them, when I started building it out for them and showing them that reallocating things and explaining that thing where if the market's up, you're selling high. You're using your market investments to live your lifestyle. If the market's down, you're using your safe investments, the money market, CDs, U.S. Treasuries, fixed index annuities, stuff that's interest bearing that can't lose money. You're thinking of. That's what you're pulling during the bad times. So that's what we started shifting with that couple, was moving from a 90-10 mix to their risk tolerance and what they needed. And when they got to 2022, when we saw the S&P 500 go down, what did it go down? 25% because of Russia invaded Ukraine and inflation and interest rates. And in that situation, what happened was they were pulling heavily off of their IRA funds. We shifted them from using their market investments to those safe investments. And they still traveled that year. They still went on their trip to, where did they go? Italy. It was
nice.
For the week. And they still enjoyed it. They didn't have to worry about their market accounts as much. Yeah, of course, there's always going to be worry. I'm a big worrier too. I tell everyone that. Where when that market went down, I was still worried too. But it shifted the mindset of, okay, I know I can pull from here during these bad times. Let the market stuff recover. The market has recovered. I hope it always will. We can't promise it, but that's what you'll start looking at. You want to start making sure that you're okay, that your plan can weather the storm during those good or the bad times. So we do the Tumolo Financial Retirement Checkup complimentary. Our phone number is 860-854-3434. or you can visit us at tfcheckup.com.
Yeah, and Nick, I'm going to add one more just because you you made me think of them. Heather, we actually had someone come in 2022, and it was a little sad when we first met with them, but it's actually turning into something great. They came in 2022, and they were foot down on the gas, working with an advisor that just when they brought in their statement, at the top of the statement it said growth. And coming through 2022, when they came in, they're, Ken, Nick, I don't think we're going to be able to retire. Our advisor's doing this. We heard you on the radio. We just were, and they were just fed up. And the wife was more in tears because the idea was they were going to retire in 2025, this year.
Yeah.
And their accounts were down almost, I want to say it was about 37%, which was even more than what the market went down during that period. And the advisor kept telling them, it's only on paper. People hear it all the time. It's only on paper. It's a paper loss. Don't worry. You'll be okay. And the market always comes back.
Yeah.
So the advisor's telling him these things, and then the husband completely upset about it too, because he vented for about a half hour when I first met him. But it was really like, I keep telling the advisor, we got to change, we got to do something different, we got to do this. And the advisor was basically, no, hold and do this. And so coming in, what we did was we ran their numbers, ran a projection, which, by the way, the advisor never ran a retirement projection for them. And it showed that they were short. They weren't going to be able to retire in 2025. And so we talked, we put together, it just had to be honest. And tell them, look, based on the numbers, it's too tight. And so what we did was we redid the plan a bit. And we got a little lucky along the way where the market was pretty good along the way. But now the numbers are showing for this couple that they should be able to retire end of this year. So not too far off of their goal.
Good.
The original goal with that advisor was retire when they get to 2025. So they're just a year behind. But it ended up being a great story because the thing is now they're going to retire. Now they're going to do what they wanted to do. But it came from this upset couple that was working with someone else, and we're able to create this. So it worked. And I'm not saying that we can always make everything work. That was just a great one that Nick made me think of. So again, it always starts with the Tumolo Financial Retirement Checkup. To get that, you can go to our website, tfcheckup.com, and schedule an appointment, or give us a call, 860-854-3434.
Final thoughts for today.
I'm going to say, know your numbers, have a plan.
Oh, he stole mine. Yeah, no, have a plan. Like I said, whether your goal is to travel, sit by ocean, or hang out with your grandkids, you want to be able to enjoy that in retirement.
And at Tumolo Financial, they are here to help you do just that. So again, visit us at tfcheckup.com.
Investment advice offered through Tumolo Wealth Management, a Connecticut-registered investment advisor. Content contained herein should not be construed as an offer or solicitation for investment advice or for the purchase or sale of any security, insurance, or other investment product. Please consult with a qualified financial, tax, accounting, or legal professional before implementing any ideas or strategies discussed here.